Well, it has been a while. Good evening to everybody out there right now. I will try to be as joyous as I can right now, but this is going to be tough today. Uh, Manchester United season is over, and all I can say right now is thank God. But you know what? The show must go on here. Welcome to the United Hour. I am your host, the Global Ambassador, Mr. International, Mr. Devin. You know I could not do a show like this by myself, so I have to have a panel with me right now too. So good evening to Robert, Zahir, Courtney, and the man, the myth, the legend, President Chad. Gentlemen, good evening, and how are you doing?
Good man, great, great,
Chilling,
great.
you know. Chilling.
I am drinking in my 2013 Champions Cup. I am good.
The last one.
The last one.
Years from a
I
successful.
am drinking this in hope for soon to come event.
Well, gentlemen, all I can say is after the season we just had, I just thank God I am not an alcoholic and I don't drink rum.
Boy, I told myself that I was going to cut back on my drinking. And obviously, as you can see by me being a little bit thicker now, that did not work out. So, yeah. But with that being said, we have some questions to figure out as well. And with that being said, we got to figure out who from this abysmal squad will we keep, who from this abysmal squad we will sell, and who are we going to give a slight chance to have them loaned out as well. And so, you know what? It could not be a show as well without a fellow Bajan being late. So with that being said, allow me to welcome to the panel, Mr. Right there, Big Phil, late and not ready as usual.
Man trying to sign all kind of new flying fish deal, all kind of thing, and you can't be here on time. What kind of diplomat are you, sir?
You understand?
Correct.
After their prime minister just showed up in the people country. You understand? I don't understand.
Let's get this show on the road, man. Let's get this show on the road.
With that being said, right now, with this show going on, I am going to lay down a couple of ground rules first. We're going to do this by position first. So we'll start with goalkeepers. We'll go to defenders. We will go to forwards. And then because I think these will be the most controversial, we'll do the midfielders last. So the way that this is going to go, because we do have a big panel out here today, how it's going to work is I'm going to put up a picture of a player. We will first ask, keep, sell, or loan. And if there's no need for discussion, we can move on to the next player. That way, we have more time to go over the ones that we think are going to be controversial. And I think we all know who the last one's going to be already.
Who?
With that being said,
Harry Maguire.
if it gets too bad, I will be muting people. So just laying out some ground rules first right now. So with that being said, we will start with Alte Bayendir.
Loan.
Keepers number 2. I would like to get some play time though, so he should play in the non-Premier League competitions.
Yeah, but is that enough for him to get the development that he needs? He's what, 23, 24? So I think a loan deal might suit him better, get him up to speed in the rigors of the EPL and really see what type of keeper he is.
I thought this would have been an easy choice, this one.
Well, we're doing it democratically. We're all not going to agree. So I spoke, Courtney spoke, like here the other guys, and just stick him in accordingly.
All right.
Keep him.
Mr. Phil, you ready?
Yeah, what you eject me for?
Because you look like you were not ready yet.
I'm always ready, buddy. I would say keep a second choice, but we gotta actually, you know what? Let me just leave it there. Keep a second choice. Let's put it there.
All right, fair enough. So now the consensus on the panel, I will say keep for now as well too.
Why is my thumbnail so small?
Because they're on the bottom.
What
Because
of
they're the
importance?
last.
What of importance?
That's what happens when you show up last. For the next position, Tom Heaton.
Well, they're keeping him. They already give him a contract, so he's getting kept.
Yeah, I think he's a good third choice keeper, something that gives a bit of experience in that keeping department. He could move on, probably transition into being a goalkeeping coach at the club. Yeah, I don't have an issue with him.
How old is he?
36 or somewhere there.
He's 85. Man, get rid of him, please. Get rid.
That third string keeper, he good enough.
No fossils on my team. Get rid. No fossils.
Well, I'm trying to understand your logic, Robert.
No, I have none.
If it's one position you need a fossil, is your third string keeper.
No. I mean, I personally prefer to have somebody, I guess, younger, maybe from the 21s to be third, and then bring it, and then I don't know. But to me, I find that he makes no sense no more. None.
All right.
Personally, for me, I would only keep him now. Just so there's some leadership in this team.
Correct.
And now,
But you're not ask me. You gotta be fair, Devin. You gotta go to everybody on the panel and ask their opinion. You can't just skip people.
and now saving Mr. Late for last.
Nah,
We
go
have
on. Next person. Cause we don't know who the next person. I hope I get to go first on the next person. Then that's what you should do.
You know what? Without further ado, this should be fun.
What part of this gonna be fun? Actually, you know what? I want to hear the people that want to keep him and the explanation that they have behind keeping him. So you can go first, Courtney.
I don't want to keep him. That's not one of the players I want to keep.
I want to keep him.
Old iron, old battery iron.
And the reason I want to keep him is a very simple one. I don't think we're gonna have the necessary funds to fund the degree of rebuild that we need, barring the sale or not the sale of, because we will be selling players, but I am not sure that we're going to get the 40 million for Rashford and the 30 million for Sancho that we all hope. You understand what I'm saying? Because these guys, there's no way back for them into this team. Sancho is this attitude. If this coach got rid of Garnacho for his antics on social media, there ain't no way Sancho coming back on this team. So if we end up having to take 20 million for Sancho, if we struggle to get rid of Rashford and we had to sell him to our next Premier League club and we had to take less than 40, we're going to struggle to get funds. So based on that fact, and that is my only argument, there are more key positions that need fixing than goalkeeper for me. So for me, he's a keep because of that.
I will have to disagree with that one right now because I think the two most important positions on the pitch are the striker and the goalkeeper. And both of ours right now are weak. Now, the issue where I struggle with right now is which one is more of a priority than the other one. And I go back and forth on this one all the time because the problem is right now, when you have a shaky goalkeeper like Andre Onana is, that just leads into more problems in the defense because now they're not as confident. They won't take as much risk as they did before. They're going to play hesitant because they're afraid that no matter what, if they get past, it's pretty much a guaranteed goal.
Yeah, but statistically, defensively, this team has improved with a shaky goalkeeper. Where we lack is scoring goals. The priority has to be scoring goals.
I hear you, President Chat, but I would rather have a solid goalkeeper who will get us points than Andre Onana. look, and I understand that, Eric Ten Hag brought him because he wanted a ball playing keeper out to the back, but in the EPL, your keeper does make or break your team.
I mean, as I said, it's a democracy, so that's my point of view.
President Chad, I can be blunt. I don't sugarcoat shit. I ain't gonna sugarcoat nothing. Onana single-handedly cost us the Champions League 2 seasons ago. That's the start of everything. Onana out. Onana is the reason why we conceded versus Lyon. Onana is the reason for multiple mistakes last season and this season that just finished. As Sir Alex Ferguson said, David De Gea saved us 16 points. I think his final or penultimate season before Sir Alex Ferguson retired. 16 points. Onana must have cost us double that. Okay? So I'm sorry. I don't agree with you. Andrew Onana has to leave yesterday. Andrew Onana has to be the biggest fraud in Manchester United world football. And the man United said it right. He is the worst goalkeeper in Manchester United's history.
Nah, boy, Phil, boy, I can't agree with you there, no.
Massimo Taibi.
That's a big fraud inside of there.
Taibi, but Bartes is a fraud.
Thank you very much. Bartes was a fraud.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay, but I say fraud because I think when we signed Onana, we were playing a bunch of reggae music and Rihanna music, and we were hyping up this guy, and lo and behold, we want this guy gone. So I'm sorry.
We signed him because Pep said he was the best keeper he ever faced in a final. We need to stop listening to Pep because Pep is a madman. He can't keep a team. He can't keep his business together.
So I will jump in on this one right here. Let me go in on this one right here. The reason why Onana was signed was because there has been this new emphasis on your distribution, your ball playing matters more than your shot stopping for goalkeepers.
Because of Pep.
It's because of Manuel Neuer.
Pep.
Because Manuel Neuer could actually do it.
Yeah, well, that was him.
And so they put more. You got rid of a great shot stopper who didn't have good distribution for a horrible shot stopper who was supposed to have good distribution, which he did at Inter Milan, but he comes here and all of a sudden he looks like a Sunday league goalkeeper.
But
hungover.
It goes beyond that, Devin. It is he was behind an Inter defense that was rock solid. You understand? So it made him look good.
Mm-hmm.
When he came to Man U didn't have the defense that Inter had. So it exposed all the flaws that he had. And on top of that, no, I'm not doubting that he probably has some ball playing ability. But the United teams that he's been in have not been set up for him to do that. And again, being a ball playing goalkeeper in Italy is very, very different from being a ball playing goalkeeper in England.
So we have to move on for time, but the consensus that I'm hearing is 5-1 sell.
Mm-hmm.
President Chad is the lone one out.
Yeah, you bet yourself on that one, boy.
So moving on next, we'll go through the defenders first. And next, first up, Harry Ahmad.
Keep
Young kid. I think a loan deal will do good for him. Give him some more playing time, get him up to speed with the league.
I hear you on that, Courtney, but if we manage to offload Luke Shaw and Malacia, then we short on the left side.
Thank you.
And also, do not forget that we have that Leon kid coming in as well, too.
Remember, right? You can't upload Luke Shaw. He's very, very big and very, very fat. You need a big, to upload him.
Don't worry. We go figure it out.
All right.
So I will say keep for now, depending on how the season goes, with the intent of possibly loaning out in the January transfer window, because we might need reinforcements at that time.
I'll keep him.
The youth look confident for the games that he played.
No, I like him. He did have a pretty decent couple of games. I'd rather see with him. I don't want him to come to stay and then be on the bench for the majority of the season. I want him to go out and get playing experience and grow into the player that we think that he could be.
If we're going to believe what the manager says about using youth that come up through the system, then I think he's going to have to find a way to play these. So, got to find a way to play him. I mean, obviously, we're not expecting him to start more than half of the games, but you know, he has to find a way to play. Because training is not enough for players to develop. They need game time.
Let me just summarize it like this. In my opinion, the man ahead of Luke Shaw in the pecking order right now.
I agree.
All right, so then consensus will be keep for him.
Yep.
All right, so next one up now, Diogo Dalot.
Sell.
Yeah,
Sell
he could-
only if
he
we're
could.
getting a better option because he's able to play on both sides.
Nah, he could write out, honestly. So
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
they bought up my right back, right? Well, they forced the club to sell him. The man go on, leave the club, and looking like a stellar right back in the league right now.
Man, finding level.
And keep don't do me that. Don't do me that. Don't do me that at all, Zahir. Don't do me that.
Maybe
Man,
have a
Man,
point.
the man's level is top 13 in the table. We not at that level right now.
Mm.
he's the head man that got 10 high fire after that miss versus West Ham. So sell him. Sell him, boy. Diogo Dalot is
Yeah, I think Diego Dalot has served this purpose.
yeah, he could write out, honestly. Like there's better options out there. So this guy knows how to go forward and dribble, but cannot defend for his life. Portuguese Trent Alexander-Arnold.
All right,
Yeah. So
that was an easy conversation.
Keep for now.
For now.
Keep for now. Nah, man. Keep full stop.
No, well, look, he's what, 19? 19, 20, something.
Yeah, I think he's 19.
Yeah, you know, I would have liked for him to be eased into the Prem, but so now, yeah, we can keep him.
and to be fair, he has only had a few months here. So give him a season and then see what happens.
Yeah,
Nice
come
one.
back.
Nice
Let me
contract.
come back to this podcast in 2026, and we would make a decision. But as of right now, is a keep for now. But he has been absolute dog shit in the last couple of months. But keep for now. So
Well, I wouldn't say he was been dog shit. I would say there's a deficiency in the attacking side of his game in that final third, where he needs to do some work in the July-August vacation and you know, get some kind of understanding with whoever's playing either on the inside of him, if he's playing the left wing back, or if he's playing the left center back. He needs to work on that attacking side of the game. His positional plays is all right for a 19-year-old. I will say his shortcomings that I've seen from the games that I've seen him play is that decision making in the final third.
Okay, so to me, the consensus sounds like keep, but needs improvement. Next player, Tyler Frederickson.
Did we see much of this shit? What?
I think he had like one or two appearances, so the jury's out for me on this one. But to me, I will say loan out
Load out.
because I don't think that he is going to get ahead of the pecking order with all the center backs that we have unless we have a dire injury crisis. And on top of that, if we're going to sell the player, he needs minutes somewhere to show that he could play somewhere as well too. So to me, I think loan is the best option for him.
I agree.
Call Wrexham.
Yeah, loan, definitely, but not sell him at all.
No.
yeah,
Few times that I've seen him, he look good enough not to want to sell at that age.
loan is the best option. And our center backs. Don't get me wrong, our center backs kind of brittle, but fully fit center backs, he won't get any start. So.
All right. It seems like we're all in consensus on this one. Aiden Heaven.
Malone. If you can.
So I heard keep, loan, keep.
I ain't gonna lie. He look like he should be on power. He could be on power. That's the
Wow.
They said this is a big rich town.
Say you're jealous, the man he ain't done that.
I just come from the poorest part.
So
Anyway,
keep seller loan.
yeah, he'll keep. He look pretty solid. Definitely, he looks very composed. I would definitely keep.
Hard to believe this youth come through Arsenal Academy though.
All right. Well, you know what? I think these next choices right now might be controversial. So I was going in alphabetical order, but I am going to go in the order that I think will be the most fun to save the best for last. So we'll start up with on loan, Malasia.
Sell.
One-way ticket.
So
No regresa, por favor.
correct. Correctus.
Yes, sir.
All right, too easy for that one.
Here, right? So you decide one, Tim. Take what you can get fit.
Nah, he's dog shite. So
I forgot about him. Keep.
Yeah.
Keep for now. I'll give my ear again.
I mean, he's when fit, he's our most solid center back. So I guess you can keep him.
Keep. Correct.
Keep.
Yeah.
Keep.
All right, too easy for that one then.
Yeah, they're not controversial about this here.
No.
Well, hopefully he can stay fit, and then yeah, we're good. All right, next.
Keep.
Next. He's been our best player of the season. So next.
Yeah.
There's
Easy.
nothing to discuss here.
Which order now for these last ones now? This should be fun.
Bye.
You have to get like
good Lord.
you gotta get like one of them big boots, with real big chains, tie it around his leg, get another boot, tie it on
I
his
only
leg.
have one word to say about this youth. Ludicrous. Move.
Youth.
Get out of the way.
I ain't gonna lie.
This man is too fat. He's too big.
I would keep off a mukbang, definitely.
You know who my mom? You know the girl who poo on the people's grave for carnival? Yeah, that's him.
God.
No.
Oh Lord.
No. Wanna be out here,
Listen, the only reason you keep him is so that the new people in the medical team have somebody to practice on.
Wow.
Was that game with the things where you push the thing and it make noise?
Operation?
Yes.
Operation don't personally just post something, personally. Anyway,
Right.
Sure, boy.
Anyway, our second to last choice now.
How to keep?
I give him one more season to stay fit. One more season.
Keep, but play less.
No.
Rotate him more.
If that's the case, then sell him, because I'm sorry, he make no sense. If you can't play, what are you here for?
No, if he has another injury season,
He could
then we're
play.
looking at the second coming of Phil
But we're
Jones.
talking about getting even game time. We playing a 3 center back system, and then sometimes Maswari might be in that system as well. So there's no reason to play Martinez every week. There's no reason he needs to play every week.
No,
By
but
that logic, Chad, there will be no reason to rush him back next season either.
Correct.
Correct.
Let's
So
give the guy time to properly rehab.
that is an easy keep. He brings leadership. He brings fight. He brings tenacity. He's shut down Haaland more than once. He could be.
To be fair, a lot of the Premier League defenders shut down Haaland these days.
That is true as well.
Yeah, but when he shut down Haaland was scoring on everybody else, right?
Yeah.
So let me bring down Martinez because City is underperforming.
So this one I go back and forth on because I love him when he's fit. Everybody said everything. He's the butcher. He's a pit bull. But the problem is that his injury record, some of these injuries that he's getting, it's very hard to come back as the same defender as that. On top of that, he's getting up there in age as well too. And you got to think about a point now where if you're going to cash in on him, I think that chance to cash in on him is coming up soon. So we need to come up with it's at a very breaking point for this one right now, because the heart in me says keep him because I love how he plays. The logic in me says sell to get something for him before his value diminishes with another injury.
Dev, what value does he have now? He missed almost the whole of the last 2 seasons. So we have nothing to sell him on. So if we have to cash in on him, then he has to give us a full season where he impresses somebody. And this
is where I look at sell in January window, and let him prove himself for January window, and then we can see if he can last or if not. So I guess you could say for me, keep to now potential sell in January.
You gotta remember too, Dev, it's hard to sell like that in the January window. Eh?
Correct. In January, everybody looking to boy.
Is either most times is bargain buys. So
What did we pay for him? 40 something?
About that? I think 45, 50 somewhere there.
It was less than Arsenal ended up playing for Timber, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Right. So somewhere under 50. We ain't getting half of that right now, because there's no body of work to go on. And to me, if you're selling for less than 50% of what you pay, it's making sense right now.
Keep him for one more season. Evaluate how many games he plays for United in the next season, and then make a decision come next summer transfer window.
Right. So 2025, 2026, the Martinez redemption era.
Sure.
And then for those in the comments as well, I have not forgotten about you. So please chime in as well too. And last but not least, the most controversial one, in my opinion.
Bella flicking statue and keep the man.
Hey,
Keep.
where is Masquerade?
No.
Lord Arnaldo Maguazario.
When we get rid of the guy from Portugal in the midfield, captain.
Nah, I would give
I say it.
No, I'm not giving him back that pressure.
Harry Maguire.
The man is
I am not
great.
giving him back that armband. Harry
The man
Maguire.
is gorgeous. Look at him. That profile, that jawline, that hair.
Robert, stop it now.
No,
Harry Maguire has
the man. All right.
Guys, it's a simple thing. If we wanted to ask most improved player from last season to now, does he not come in that conversation?
correct.
Yes.
Strongest finish to the season. Is he not in it?
Yes.
All right. Then we got to keep him.
You see the
You're only
man.
as good as what you do for me lately, right?
All right.
No. That's not fair.
I think the biggest issue when it comes to Maguire is a contract that he's on.
Agreed. So we're not giving him that kind of extension.
No.
Okay.
If I have to renew his
Based
contract
on,
right
based
now,
on all that has happened, I think if you have Harry to take a pay cut,
You take it.
Harry will take
yes.
a pay cut. Harry has been one of the most maligned, ridiculed players at Manchester United. He had the captaincy stripped from him. There was, at one point in time, the fans, he was probably the most hated player at the club. And he never once complained in the media. Never once him or any of his very big family ever said any bad stuff about the manager,
they just
about
went
the
to
club,
Christian
about fans. He has stayed, put his head down. He works hard. He tries to be a friend and a good teammate to other people.
Clearly
Celebrate
put
with
his
the
head to
first
the
guy
grindstone.
to celebrate with anybody when they score. He has done all and above and beyond, on and off the pitch, what you expect. And he is in no hurry to leave the club despite the abuse that we have put him on. No, he's not getting abused anymore. But despite what he went through at the club, he is always 100% for Manchester United. You don't sell players like that unless they're over the hill. And clearly, Harry has shown that he still has something to offer. Because out of all of our defenders, he's the one most likely to score.
The man has proven himself.
Our final president chat on scoring. My thing is, he embodies the work ethic that we need in this squad.
Correct.
He ain't go in and go on his socials and complain or have an agent say something to somebody.
No.
He come every day and put your head down and do the hard work.
Right.
Now, after all of that being said, if the manager, there's no player for me, no player. If the manager decides, okay, the way I want to play high up the pitch, Harry too slow, I'm not going to fight it. I'm not going to be upset. But if you're asking sell, keep, or loan right now, based on the performances we've seen this season, Harry is an easy keep.
The man has given us some of the most iconic moments of the season. He has scored the most clutch goal of the season. Right? One. He made the most brilliant piece of play on the right-hand side when he skin out a man, have a man on the ground.
He did it twice.
You
saw him the last game. Our last game, man skinned 2 man on a line. Who doing that? Bruno? No.
And
doing that? Canacho?
The man has been in the last, I would say, 3 to 4 months. The man has been the most reliable defender on the team. That has to be rewarded.
Big Phil, you're very quiet on this one.
The best ability is availability, and
correct.
Even though under the Ole years Harry was shit, he was still available, and even under the Ten Hag and Ruben Amorim era, he's been still available, right? And we remember the podcast where we used to slander this guy.
I don't remember that.
Right,
I have no recollection of such things.
Let me erase. Let me take that away from them.
I have come with receipts. I have looked back, and every time I look for what you all speak of, I see one notice that says the Harry Maguire Hate Club closed for business.
Correct.
But I will definitely keep Harry Maguire, but for squad depth, definitely.
Well, that was not as controversial as I thought it would be.
No.
So we have covered goalkeepers. We have covered defense. I will save the midfielders for last. I will move on. We all know the reason why. There's one that's going to be last.
There are more of them than forwards.
So we will start in, actually, for the most part, alphabetical order with the forwards.
Again?
Keep.
Talk done.
Keep.
Next, keep. Correct?
More goals than Bukayo Saka, but that's all he's saying.
Better look into.
Sell. Not sell. I mean loan. Sorry, loan.
He needs playing time.
Loan.
Wait, Phil, you thought it was Zirk. See what I hear? Cut on.
It's loan.
Loan, definitely loan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can loan, man. He
Bring him back to Arsenal.
No. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Loan him to Wolves to replace Cunha.
Yeah.
Loan again.
Who's this side man here?
Loan
again.
Loan him.
Anybody else? Anybody disagree?
I loan him, man. Loan him.
All right.
Keep.
Zerkamp, you gotta keep.
Yeah.
Anybody want to sell? Anybody want to loan? Or is everybody saying the same thing?
Zerkamp, you gotta keep.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, keep him.
Now to pick for these next ones. You know what? Well, let's start with the easy one.
Who's that? I don't remember him.
Throw your
That's not a Manchester player, sir. That picture does not belong here.
Back to Chelsea.
That picture doesn't belong here, sir. Even the badge fade out.
I see a picture of Jadon Sancho celebrating with the Chelsea team after the last game, talking about Champions League. You coming back to us, big man? You started at Chelsea. You coming back to us?
Wait. Make sure Chelsea pay we to take him back.
Yeah.
The fact that Chelsea said that they're going to make a decision after the Conference League final, You don't know Jada Sancho is standing there. Sorry.
Nah.
Roxo. Sell him to play with Jesse Lingard.
Yikes.
Wow. Yeah.
So,
Man.
and I would say that
Loan.
Rasmus came to our club at the wrong time.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's been unfortunate that he's had little to no service and his confidence has been in the gutter.
So
I
loan
think-
him and then don't sell him. Loan him.
Nah, sell him. I don't think he fits the profile of the type of forward Ruben needs
Right.
or wants.
I'm not disagreeing with you. All I want to know is, objectively now, put yourself in a director of football shoes. You buying him and what you paying for him?
Well, we gotta take our loss on him, unfortunately, because again, he is like Anthony, where he is a victim of the price that he holds.
What you going and tell your CEO to convince him to buy this you?
No, I think
Are we playing opposition as in if we were to buy Rasmus Højlund?
No, the
No,
sell.
that we all saying sell him, but
Yeah.
I was saying put him on loan. My point is, if you're saying sell him, and you had to be the one buying him, what you telling somebody to
To buy
convince them to buy him? Is there anything?
there are
buying?
Italian clubs who were interested in him, and I think if somebody come with 30 million, we would sell him. I mean, my
You're lucky
personal
if you get
position.
15.
My personal position is loan, right? Because I think if he has a good season somewhere, we could probably get more for him, as well as if he develops more, because he's still a young fast striker. We may actually have a player that maybe we're bringing back. So I would say loan him instead of selling him. But one of the hands down, he cannot be part of the Manchester United setup heading into the next season.
I wouldn't say that, President Chan. He can't be the main man going forward if he stays at United.
I would have to say loan right now, get some confidence back, and then we could assess him after the loan.
I ain't gonna lie, the way Rasmus, this player Rasmus would do very well at Trinidad Carnival. That man does back up and back up and back up and back up. He would do. I would call Rasmus and say, "Look, we're going 2026 Trinidad Carnival next year.
Back it up.
Back it up."
Now, if we send him out on loan, are you putting in an option to buy in the clause?
You mean
Option or obligation?
No
Obligation.
obligation. Option.
Yeah.
And if we sell him, are we putting in a sell on clause?
Well, sell on isn't
have
a
to.
standard thing now.
That agreed.
You gotta negotiate that, bro.
But it pretty much everybody does it now anyway.
So you want an option, you want a first refusal or an option to buy back?
Yeah, and I don't see any issue with that.
Because we
No.
did it for Mason, right?
All of these things are secondary. Firstly, we don't need to get him out the door.
correct?
And as I say, if a team comes with more than 30 million or more, bye-bye. But barring that, loan.
So
Right.
now, all right, so we're in consensus with loan for Højlund. Now for our three most controversial.
No controversy, Devin. No controversy.
So,
Wait,
one stock high. Matter of fact,
make
I'm
this
backing
decision
him
after
to-
tomorrow now.
I'm backing him to score in that final.
Postpone
Yeah.
this discussion by 24 hours.
If this man win the conference league for Betis, bring the 50 million Betis.
I just want him come back when he beat Chelsea tomorrow to beat the ass again. Twice.
Tomorrow's conference league final.
Correct.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah.
You sure?
Yes.
All right. I gotta put the time on.
I want
Anyway,
him to come back. I want to laugh in Chelsea men's face again.
I don't know. I kind of on the fence with this one.
All right. Guys, has he performed well enough to deserve a second chance?
At United, no.
Yeah.
at Betis, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's squad player, not as a star.
Have you not seen him play for Betis?
Chad, I'm not saying as a starter, you know. I'm saying as a squad player.
No. But
Why?
there is something, eh? I have been one of the persons who has been singing the praises of Scott McTominay for years. Most United players, fans, especially when it was McFred, couldn't wait to see the back of Scott. Scott gone to Italy, and he's the best thing there since sliced bread, right?
Because they played him in
And
the
I'm not, and I'm not exaggerating. He is the best
He's
thing
probably
there.
the whitest thing since sliced bread, but
No,
No,
he
they
is
put
the
him in the
Italian
right
player this
position.
season.
That's all it was. He's not a defensive midfielder. That's all it is.
He is the Italian player this season, and it is Italian players and coaches that would have voted for that. So he is the best thing in Italy since sliced bread.
all right. So Scott is the
If you
team.
ask me, do you want Scott McTominay back? Mind you, I have always loved Scott McTominay. Always saw what he brought to the team. You know what my answer would be? No. Right? No. He is good where he is. There are some people, earlier somebody mentioned the comment of playing you meet your level. You understand what I'm saying? Clearly, he suits the Spanish league. Clearly. Do I think Anthony will come back to United and bring any of that with him? No. Tell Anthony while his stock is high, don't bring him back here to diminish demand value.
All right. So let me play a little
I
fantasy.
understand.
Let me play a little real out there fantasy football. Sell him and put a sell on clause because some way down the road when Real Madrid go and buy him and pay the big money, we go get a little piece of that now.
Well, it goes back into the same thing that we just spoke about in the last one. That's further down the line. But I think, yeah, you do have to sell while the value is high. Like, did anybody see the comments where he was talking about how he was like depressed in Manchester, everything like that?
Yes.
He does not want to come back. He does not want to come
A
back.
lot of things went on off the field, right? He had the court case. He had other things going on off the field as well.
Correct.
All right. So
You
we
need to
started.
leave them white English girls.
Well, the manager don't say he
What's
gone.
up?
He hit the road already.
Yeah, trade for him.
I have to put him up. We are going through the squad. He has to be put up.
The boss man tell him find a next club. Punto final.
Ever since this man said that he was the next Ronaldo, everything just went down from there. Down.
Tell him call
don't
Inter
you
Miami and see if Messi
You
go
know,
forgive
you know
him.
what was his mistake? He dies here like Messi, right? That is why you're cursed. You are cursed. Forever cursed. Out.
Alejandro Garnacho may very well come close to being the next Ronaldo. He may have seasons in his future where he actually scores 40 plus goals because he has the talent
In his
to
dream,
do it. If he
in
could
his
put
mind,
the work in. Do I want him at Manchester United? No. Sell. And if he does well somewhere else, I would not consider it a regret at all. I would say, you know what, kudos to our academy.
the man feels as though he's the rock. Trying to
All
do
right,
his
so
You know what's the hard part about it? Had he not made the comment that he made after the final, I would have been more defensive.
all right, so just because right now we still have a whole next position to get through, let me ask this one question. Is there anybody on this panel that's against selling? Moving on.
Bye-bye.
That's not a Manchester player. The badge fade out. He not coming back.
No.
Peace.
Right?
That would be greater.
He and Trent in the same box together.
Go play with Jesse Lingard.
But
So,
you're putting that in football in Suriname.
on this one, no, he was a great academy player, served us well. Time to move on. Just go on, right? Just go on, right?
Go on.
All right.
Yeah.
So now moving on to the midfielders.
Oh Lord.
Bye-bye. Peace out.
How much
Blessings.
how long we have on Casemiro contract?
I think it's 2 more years, 2 years left.
We could
2 years.
2 years.
The only reason I keep in this guy is because I think he was somewhat instrumental in bringing Cunha to Manchester United. I think so. That's the only reason I keep. But don't get me wrong, Casemiro has been our best player along Mazraoui for the last few months now.
Yeah, coming down the end of the season.
Yeah, and especially in Europe.
Because we're restructuring and wages are an issue, I would say sell, but purely based on his performances at the end of the season, if his wages weren't so high, I would have want to keep it. Really and truly, I would have want to keep Casemiro. For his attitude, his mentality, he's a possible captain of the team if Bruno was to go.
And that's the
He has
next
a lot of
thing there, right?
pluses, but based on the reality of Manchester United situation, sell.
All right. It comes down to this too. If we have to fix a lot of the things at this club, we talk a lot about reset. We talk a lot about fixing the culture. We talk a lot about ironing out the dressing room and having what you call solid professionals in the dressing room, right? On the last day of the season, 3 men said goodbye to the club. Whether we think they were the best players ever, that's not the issue here. The fact is they were all 3 of them solid, dependable professionals in the dressing room, right? So we've lost those 3. And if when we get to one of the other midfielders, the consensus is to get rid of him too, then we damn short on leadership in the dressing room, guys. And we can say what we want about this guy. Throughout his entire career, he has been a model professional.
I lean towards keep, but we need a wage cut in there.
Well, that will be a hard thing to get from him, but maybe it will tell us how committed he is to help the club for the next 2 years.
Sorry, as much as I believe Casemiro loves Manchester United, if I was Casemiro, Sir Jim and the Glazers are billionaires, and them fellas rich. Give me my money or sell me. I'm sorry. Love United.
I'll go Saudi and make that money tax-free.
Yeah, I'm not young enough. I'm not in my early 20s where I could say, yeah, I would take a pay cut. I would look to get an endorsement. No, Palos. Pay me. If I was Casemiro, I'm not taking no pay cut. Sell me. And I sure that somebody in Saudi Arabia more than willing to pay Casemiro.
Well, nothing concrete has come up yet, and the man said he's happy in Manchester.
And I believe him. I'm happy with him too, but sell.
Loan.
Stay on loan.
Loan.
Correct.
Sorry for cutting off Casemiro, but we have to get through the next.
Yeah.
These guys on loan, you haven't been hearing much about them, so they stay on loan.
Sell.
Yeah.
Next.
Didn't look too bad at all.
Loan.
Nah, keep. He could give Ugarte a run for his money. Ugarte looking for fight man. This is the last couple of games.
I agree with Phil. I would keep Collier.
He can give Ugarte a good run for his money. Ugarte started off really well and was one of our most consistent players, but then faded off like a damn side man. But Toby Collier,
I would say what we do with him depends on what we're doing with a certain other midfielder who wears number 33, I think.
Luke Shaw.
Nah, Luke Shaw is not 33.
Remember, the man's so big, right? You can fit left back and middle in on.
Oh, this one, number 37, sorry.
Keep.
If you're selling here, you can't sell Collier.
Nah, he have to keep, man.
Keep.
I will keep Kobe Manu for now.
Even though I feel as though
Kobe Manu is the most versatile player at the club. He could play CDM, he could play the 10, and as we have all seen, he could play striker. Obviously, we're looking to buy, and we should not need him for all of that. But you don't want to get rid of that youth and that versatility if you have a choice.
For financial fair play, and
yeah, they will
I would definitely keep Kobe. I actually keeping Kobe and Collier just for academy products. So,
however, Kobe has been reluctant to sign a new contract. we are hearing through the rumor mill that one of the sticking issues is salary. That his team is asking for an amount that sounds a little too far of where he is now. So I don't know if that's a worrying sign as to
Gotta
what might
remember,
come.
his team is looking at the structure that is currently there.
Point taken.
So if I win and play in a 36-game season, I'm playing at least 25, 26. I had to be paid on that level. Now,
Point taken.
we had to do our wage restructuring on the whole. So that's the thing. You could keep him for now. How much time you have on his contract again?
2.
2 years.
Right. So give him till the end of next season. If it is that we can't come to agreement, sell him at the end of next season.
I give it him to January to sign.
Yeah, you see, the problem with that, Courtney, I do not think we have an option to extend. So if you wait
No,
till
that's
the last year of
fine.
his contract,
We could sell him on his fine before his final year. We'll still get, remember, whatever we get for him is pure profit.
well,
So
okay.
I would still keep him.
I would say keep him and sell Garnacho personally.
Next.
Keep.
Keep.
Yeah.
I want to ask a question though.
Oh,
Amarin is the person who was coaching when they sold this player to PSG, not so?
Yep.
Or was
Yeah.
he played before?
Yeah, he was.
I thought, like most people, that he had some really good games. And when it came to the crunch time of the season, a must-win game before, the game against Chelsea, the game in the final, this guy didn't feature at all. And I am wondering what Amarin's stance is where Ugarte is concerned. Because I found that very strange. So me personally, I would keep him. But if we were to hear him departing, it wouldn't surprise me because I don't understand how he could play so well in the semifinals and then just disappear. We haven't seen this guy at all.
But remember, you could only play based on your actions in training, and if for whatever reason, because I think he was also carrying an injury.
Well, I'm not saying no. All I'm saying is if we hear he was going, it wouldn't surprise me. I'm not saying I want to sell him. I agree with all of you. Keep. But I just found it strange.
I think we kind of stuck with him,
Yeah.
My issue with Mason Mount is not the injuries. My issue with Mason Mount is the number 7.
Yep.
sell him.
That's my problem with Mason Mount.
But Big Phil, like, we might want to sell him, but he's not played enough to show that he has value.
But I was going to say, sell him.
No, we had to keep Mason Mount.
Sell
Why?
Mason for whatever you get.
Why you keeping Mason Mount?
You ain't gonna get nothing now.
So nothing is better than having him here.
Send,
He's a poison.
send Mason Mount to Crystal Palace.
The man is an Arsenal fan.
How much of us that have 6?
Yeah.
Oh,
Where's the consensus right now? We split 3-3. Where's Devin's thought on Mason?
so the majority want to sell Mount. They're in a consensus. We selling Mount. We selling Mount to go to get back some of that 62 mil we sent Acuna.
Depending on if we get Mbumo as along with Cunha, if we get him as well, Mason Mount will be sold. Should be sold in my opinion.
And Buemo, the
Right,
last
well.
Mount out.
All right,
I
we'll
guess
tell
he
you this,
will be
man.
in the same category.
But if we don't get him, and we don't have reinforcements, we need all the bodies we can get in midfield.
Let's all be real, right? When has Mason Mount ever done anything great for this club? When?
Semi-final.
Great. I
When?
would say
How games? The
Man,
I don't think
pick a
it's about
ball,
that you done anything good.
The semifinal where he scored twice.
The man,
Right.
man
Finally,
pick a
okay,
ball
finally looking
into
fair.
an open goal. I could do
But-
that.
And then he also did the Yanazai goal as well.
And
He,
But
he's finally okay. He finally looking fair.
You asked a question, so I'm just giving you the
Great.
answer on that.
he nothing great. The man had his number on his back. Why? Because he's English? No, fire on him. He's a
So whenever
Arsenal
we
fan
sell him,
who played for
whenever
Chelsea.
we sell him,
Why
whether
is he
now,
here?
whether now or next year or whenever, can we
Mhm.
agree to retire the number 7 for now, please? Don't put on nobody back.
So let's ask the question: If he did not have a number 7, would you all still have the same stance?
Yes, sell. The man make no sense. Sell.
All right, fair enough.
Sell.
And now the one that we've all been waiting for, and the reason why I think Big Phil wanted Courtney on this chat so badly right now. I know he's been keeping quiet, just having his thoughts ready for this one. The captain, Bruno Fernandes. You know what? For this one, I am going to mute everybody but Courtney and Phil to start.
He's had a pretty decent season for the most part. I hear the conversation that he's 31. If we get 100 million from Saudi, we should already take it. And a part of me wants to agree with you all on that. But at the same time, too, we're going to need leaders in this team if we're going to rebuild the team. Now, he may not be in the same vein as the great Man United captains or the Roy Keanes or the Eric Cantonas or the Sir Bobby Charltons. But he's a captain for the age that we're in. So yeah, I don't have an issue with keeping him. If we have to sell him because of financial fair play, then it is what it is. But my first instinct will be to keep.
Waiting on Phil.
Oh, what are we talking about now? Ready picture? I'm assuming we're talking about number 8. Remove that picture from in front of me, please. Thank you very much.
So you ask for the picture, then you say remove it.
I just kidding. We've been fought, and I would do some sugarcoating, but I will also talk like a politician. That makes no sense. I would not do any sugarcoating, but will also talk like a politician. Where we've been following football for at least a good 15, 20 years. And we've seen that the best teams in the world, whether it's in La Liga, Serie A, or EPL, their engine room is one of the reasons they will not only win or come in the top 2 in their domestic league, but also in Europe. You can go to AC Milan where they had Pirlo, Kaká, Seedorf. You can go to La Liga where they had Iniesta, Xavi, Sergio Busquets for Barcelona, and then there was Cruz, Casemiro, Modric for Real Madrid. You come back to EPL where for Man City there's Rodri, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva. Go back all the way to Manchester, and we had a midfield of Scholes, Carrick, Roy Keane. Arsenal had Vieira, Lundberg. And these are just things that make a great midfield for a team, right? Fast forward now where we have probably the last 2 seasons have seen the worst Manchester United team ever. And that's because of our engine room, which is Bruno Fernandes. Probably the worst captain, in my opinion, of all time for Manchester United. Gives away the football too much. Definitely is not a leader in this team. Your team, your players around you will do what you do. So if you give away the football and if you look to play direct football all the time and play hero football, that's what players around you will do as well. If Saudi Arabia had to come in with a bid of minimum 100 million pounds, definitely needs to consider it, right? A lot of people ask where would we be without Bruno Fernandes, and they're asking that at a time where Bruno Fernandes is scoring, but they're not asking that sort of question when he is giving away the ball 20 times a game and what's not, right? My thing on Bruno Fernandes is that he is not disciplined enough to lead himself. So how can he be disciplined enough to lead this team? Very inconsistent. Definitely is not the leader of like your Roy Keys and Patrick Vieira to spur a team on. I was kind of hyped up before the Europa League final, where fans were sending him these little video clips, these little 1 minute, 30-second video clips of saying, we need you to have a big game in the final of the Europa League. Lo and behold, did fuck all, right? So at the end of the day, there must be some point in time where you have to look back and say, you know what? We've had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we've had Erik ten Hag, and we've had Ruben Amorim. And all three managers, well, bar Amorim, have been sacked because Bruno Fernandes is part of that problem. I have no idea why we gave him a new contract. At the end of the day, he still goes on as one of the worst captains of all time for Manchester United. A lot of people still write this whole notion of Kevin De Bruyne saying that Bruno Fernandes is the best midfielder in the Prem, and that's the only thing they write on right now. But other than that, I don't care how long you've been watching football, the eye test comes first, right? Stats don't tell the entire story, because if stats told the story, stats would say that Frank Lampard is better than Ronaldinho. Stats would say that Frank Lampard is better than Zinedine Zidane, right? At the end of the day, Saudi Arabia, if they come in, they definitely need to put in a bid of at least 100 million for this guy here, and I will sell him immediately, right? And you guys are free to change my mind, right?
Before I open this up to the rest of the panel, Courtney, do you have a rebuttal?
Be realistic in our expectations. The game is not what it once was, and he has been the most consistent performer across the three coaches that you mentioned: Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Erik ten Hag, and for Ruben Amorim. So that has to factor in. Now, I'm not saying that he always takes care of the ball, but most flair players in that vein, they lose the ball. They lose the ball. They make bad passes. They make bad decisions, but it's part of their game. I don't see another person in that squad right now that has worked as hard as he has for the season. Because win, lose, or draw, there was a point in time in his career where, you saw the flopping and the frail in her hands and the passion and whatever. And people had a problem. But that's just his style of doing things. So I hear you, big Phil. If we get the 100 million and the powers that be say that we had to take it because of financial reasons, then I will be sad to see him go. But to say that he has not done what he's been paid to do would be disingenuous at best. Because every game, there has not been a player over the last three sets of coaches that has been more available than Bruno Fernandes. If we check the injury record, the games played, the minutes played, he has been on that pitch fighting. He does not have the presence of Roy Keane or Patrick Vieira or any of those captains in that ilk that we generally tend to expect captains to be. But he's a captain for the modern age. With the type of players and the type of squad that we have, I think he's a pretty decent captain. Because we have a set of prima donnas that not trying to work hard, not trying to do the best every day, day in, day out. And he has to manage that. He has to manage those personalities. Because, as my mother used to say, you can bring a horse to draw water, but you can't make them drink. But he knows when he steps foot on that field, he's given 110%. I have seen Bruno track back as a centre-back this season. Last season, Bruno played a couple of games as centre-back. You want him right back, he playing there. You want him defensive midfield, he playing there. You want him as a 10, he playing there. If he gave him a chance, he will play as a center forward too. I don't know what more you want from the man.
You want to know who else is versatile? John O'Shea. Should we bring back John O'Shea as well too?
No, but John O'Shea is a cut of a specific ilk. That's what I'm trying to get at. John O'Shea was what we call a traditional hard worker. He was a squad player who put his head down and did the work. Bruno Fernandes is of a similar ilk, but not exactly the same.
Gentlemen, so I let you guys go on first for a little bit, but I have to let the others jump in on this one as well. But I had to let you guys get the first stab at this one. Now the panel is open. Everybody is unmuted. And let's have fun.
Hello, Robert.
Phil, let me start by saying this. A lot of the negative comments that have been made about Bruno, the criticisms, it's hard to argue against them. Yes, we have all watched the games. We have seen the times when he has fallen short. We have seen how often he has given away the ball. We've seen that. You're saying that stats don't paint the full picture. You believe in the eye test. I hear you. And I agree with that to an extent. But answer me this. 62 goals and 51 assists in the 6 seasons that he's been here. In the 6 seasons that he's been here, the first season being half a season, because he came in the January transfer window. Right? In that season, that was the magic season when Rashford, Martial, and Mason all hit double figures. So the 3 of them outscored him. By the way, he still registered 8 goals in half a season, 4th highest scorer on the team. The only other 2 seasons where he was outscored was, of course, Cristiano Ronaldo when he came back. And the season after when Rashford somehow channeled his inner Van Nistelrooy or something and was the top scorer. In the 6 seasons, the only time he was ever second on the assists list was to Paul Pogba in the 2021-2022 season. And by the way, in that season, Pogba had 1 game where he had 4 assists and finished with 9. So we all know how the Pogba season went. Right? We've asked the question, if we sell Bruno, and 100 million will be hard to refuse, if we sell him, who replaces those numbers? Because nobody else in the midfield is close to it. People have used the name Cherki from Lyon. In the same 6 years, that man has contributed 14 goals and 28 assists to Lyon in a easier, much less competitive league. On a team where he is clearly the best man in the midfield. Right? We talk about leadership. You say he's the worst captain. I beg to differ. Because all the things you say he can't do as a captain, Harry couldn't do as a captain either. But yet you're saying this guy is a worse captain than Harry Maguire was when he was captain. When Harry Maguire was on the field as captain, nobody ever expected him to do something inspirational. Nobody expected that he would take up the ball and drive forward and try to do something. Everybody was just like, well, we hope he don't fuck up today. Basic plain talk. And this is not me reopening the Harry hate club. This is just me stating how the fan base felt about him as captain.
Let me ask a question, or let me make a statement followed by a question. You guys would agree that this Manchester United team is the worst you've ever seen in following Manchester United, right?
Since the days of Dwight Eversley York, yes.
Who is our leader? Who is at the helm? Who's the captain of this worst Manchester United team?
It is him. Does he take all the blame?
I would say about 40% of it.
All right. So then by extension, Roy Keane is the greatest captain we've ever had.
Yeah.
1999 treble winning season. So
Yeah.
Roy Keane is better than Captain Fantastic, right? Who was there before? Roy
Sir
Keane
Bobby.
is greater than Schmeichel. Roy Keane is greater than Sir Bobby. All of those captains.
Well, I wasn't following Manchester United in the Sir Bobby time, so.
So it's not only down to the captain. You are right. The captain carries the weight of it. And to piggy on that, has he ever shied away from accepting criticism as the captain? He's won it.
It's
He's
not.
taken it on his shoulders.
It's not about shying away, right? Because at the end of the day, it's all about consistency, right? And Bruno Fernandes has not been that consistent player, right? Like I mentioned, you look at football over the last 15 to 20 years, and the greatest teams have had the greatest midfields, right? There's a reason why Manchester United are in the position we are today, is because we have a shit midfield, and that is down to Bruno Fernandes, right? There are players. Let's be real. Bruno Fernandes could probably get into the 07-08 Manchester United team. He could, right? If you look at our midfield of Michael Carrick, Scholes, and maybe like Anderson or whatever, right? Anderson gets this.
He could take Anderson's place in a heartbeat.
Correct, right? By the end of the day, we played as a team. Each player knew their role. If we go down a goal or 2 goals, we still play as a team. I think what happens now is that when we go down a goal or 2 goals, Bruno looks to take on all of the responsibility. He looks to drop very, very deep and looks to spray the football, right? There have been moments where Bruno Fernandes has been disciplined. I think Bruno Fernandes' most disciplined game was that FA Cup final where Kobe Manu and Garnacho scored. But other than that, I cannot count. I cannot find any other. I can probably count the amount of games Bruno has been disciplined on 2 hands, right? A little bit of feet here and there, right? But the Bruno Fernandes that most people raved about at Sporting Lisbon, where he was one of the top highest goal scorers in the Champions League, that's all good, right? By the end of the day, Bruno Fernandes is not the guy to lead. Now, a lot of people are mentioning, how are we going to replace those numbers, right? Those numbers don't have to be replaced by one person, These can be replaced by a good 7 or 8 other people, That's what a lot of people think. Because a lot of people, for example, let's go over to another team like Manchester City. People are asking who's going to replace Kevin De Bruyne. It doesn't matter. Kevin De Bruyne's assists can be spread amongst other members of the team. Similar to Manchester United now, where it comes to Bruno Fernandes, goals and assists can be spread amongst the other team, right? So at the end of the day, Bruno Fernandes is, I don't think, the answer to our midfield. Are there other midfielders out there that are better than him? Not much. But I think if we play as a unit, we could have a solid 3-4 man midfield, right?
I'm not gonna argue that. That.
President Chad, Robert, you guys are quiet on this topic.
I just want to ask one final question.
Yep.
If you were in Bruno's shoes and you look around at the forwards in front of you, the wingers on either side of you, and the men around you, you have confidence to not try the things you tried. You have confidence to say, well, let me play the simple pass and I know my forward going to bury it. With the 2 forwards we've had playing up front this season. You have confidence to say, I'm going to play this out to the wide man because I know he's going to put the ball straight on Rasmus' head. You have any confidence in any of them players around you?
No, as a midfielder, if I'm trying my best to feed the forwards, and if some of my passes pull off or some of my passes don't pull off, let's focus on the positive. Let's say my passes do pull off and the forwards are not doing anything, then obviously you'll have to take it to 1 or 2 things going to happen. I'm going to keep on passing and feeding my forwards, and if they're not doing anything, I'm looking towards the manager. I'm saying, bruv, what are you going to do? Because these guys are doing nothing. Or I'm going to look to take it on by myself. No.
All right, gentlemen, I just want to point out we've got about 6 more minutes of topic for this right now. Then we got to move on to the next segment. So
I thought we were going to I thought we were getting to 9 o'clock.
we have other segments to cover on this show as well,
This Bijan walking on Jamaican time,
this show is supposed to be an hour. Just so everybody knows, and I'm running longer. So let's continue.
We have 2 keeps in Zaire and Courtney, and we have 1 sell in Big Phil so far. What does Robert have to say?
If we get the money for him, sell him. Because, this is my thing, right? as far as I'm concerned right now, this whole team are a bunch of criminals. And that includes Bruno Fernandes. He's a criminal. Right?
Officer Alexander.
He's a criminal. Right? They're all criminals, all of them, because I did not watch that last game against Villa. Right? I didn't watch it. But I happened to see Match of the Day 2. And then they show the highlights. And this criminal pass a ball to Ahmad to score. This criminal. Where was this passing for the final? Where was it? Nowhere to be found. Nowhere. He's a criminal. They're all criminals. So as far as I'm concerned, I have no loyalty to no one. And none of them. Right? So if we get the money for him, sell him. Because the reality is his goals can be replaced. If we get Embremo, we get Cunha, maybe we get Eze from
Crystal Palace.
Yeah, right. And we get the lap.
That is wishful thinking, boy. But okay.
I know, but I just say. I'm just throwing him in, right? Those players will replace his goals. Those players will replace his assists. You know, you now have to know. Not the other guys now have to step up. The Amads and the Minos and these boys now have to step up and prove their worth, because they only have 1 year to prove their worth until next season, because nobody is safe. Correct? Nobody is safe.
President Chad.
Yeah.
So Bruno Fernandes is the absolute best player at Manchester United. The stats say that. The eye test says that. He is the best player on a horrible team. I cannot say that he should bear responsibility for how horrible the team is. How horrible the team is goes squarely at the feet of the Glazers. Even our on-field performances, it still goes squarely at the feet of the Glazers, right? Managers come, managers go. Bruno has been the most consistent and best performer at Manchester United. And all of that being said, if Saudi come with the money, all I have to say is sell Bruno Fernandes if we get to over £100 million. If we're not, keep him. But if we are, and the only reason is, if we're doing our rebuild, let us rebuild. But Bruno Fernandes is, hands down, the best player at Manchester United from the time he has arrived. And he should be given a hero's exit and a hero's be remembered as such. He has been the best player through our darkest times. So I'm not saying that in any way to besmirch Bruno, to put Bruno down, to be like, no. He deserves his flowers. He is the best player on a shit team. But if the money's right.
So I have to be the last one to speak on this topic right now.
No.
And what I will say, if the offer comes in at 110 or higher, we have to sell. It is not often that you get an offer like that for a player that is over 30 years old of age. The next thing on top of that as well is we are in a dire situation financially right now. We have no Champions League funds coming in that way. It's not even included from the broadcast revenue. But now that's at least 4 matches of match day revenue we're not getting as well. The Adidas deal now gets to be cut by 10 million. We need everything that we can get for this squad rebuild that we all know that we desperately need. I'm not taking anything away from Bruno's playing ability, but we need the money. And Phil, I know you're there like itching to go. So what are you gonna say?
Oh no. I am definitely in agreement with regards to if a bit over 100 mil comes, definitely Manchester United should consider it. Um, being the best player in a bad bunch, would you? Let me ask you guys a question. Would you rather be the best player in a bad bunch or be the consistent player in a above average bunch? And for me,
Obviously, you would rather be the consistent player above average, but that is not up to Bruno Fernandes. You don't choose your teammates.
you don't choose your teammates, but you got to play the hand that you're dealt, right? And as a captain, you must be able to lead from the front. And I have not seen enough leadership in Bruno to take this team out of. Because where did we finish last season under Ten Hag? We finished what, 6th or 7th? Anyway, Bruno Fernandes has taken us from 6th, 7th to 16th position, right?
Phil, I have a question for you, right? What do you find as leadership from the front in this modern game, given that we now have a squad that is more that has more player power than at any point in time in our history?
Leadership from the front is basically being a game changer, right? And Bruno Fernandes has not changed enough games for us, right? It could be from him opening the scoring or him equalizing for us or to be influential in another player scoring. I have not seen enough of that from Bruno Fernandes in the last couple of seasons, make it 3 seasons, right? And that's the definition of a leader, right? A leader also is able to, he'll take some of the blame, but he'll also pass on the praise to the players, right? But has Bruno Fernandes done enough to rally a team from a goal down, or if it's the 80th minute? Because at the end of the day, when it comes to certain times in the game,
you and I can't be watching the same Manchester United. What game that was recently that we were down, and Bruno took the team on his back and scored? I think that was the hat-trick game.
What team was that? What game was that?
What game that was? That was a recent game though, where we were down. And he scored is either 2 or 3 goals he scored. Well, help me here. That happened this year. This just recently within the last.
It was against the French team where they got the red card. Lyon.
Yeah.
Right. So that is where my disconnect with what you're saying is happening.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying. I said I have not seen enough games for Bruno Fernandes to be a game changer. Courtney, you cannot name 20 other games in the last 2 seasons where Bruno Fernandes has been a game changer for us. 20. I dare you. Find 20 other games where Bruno Fernandes has been a game changer. You can name 1 game, Lyon, right? Maybe the hat-trick he had versus was it Sociedad or something like that?
No, but again, if it is I'm supplying the ball to Rasmus, Garnacho, all these different guys, and they not putting the ball in the back of the net, am I still not being a game changer?
But here's the thing now, right? As I mentioned about 5 minutes ago, right? If I keep on feeding my strikers and they're not doing anything, 1 of 2 things going to happen. I got to try to take the game on my back, 1 or 2. I'm looking at the manager and say, yo, these guys ain't doing nothing. Either you make a substitution or I got to take the game on my back. And it just happens that Bruno Fernandes taking the game on his back sometimes has backfired, sometimes it has gone through, right? But as a captain, you also are kind of like the assist. You are the on-field manager, if that makes sense. Ruben Amorim is the off-field manager. Bruno Fernandes is the on-field manager, right? You at some point have to sit down with the off-field manager, the coach, Ruben Amorim, Ten Hag, or they're going to social or whatever. You have to sit down with that and tell them, look at these past 10, 15 games. And look how much times Rasmus Højlund has lost the ball. Look how much times Garnacho has made the wrong decision, right? You got to sit down with these, with the manager and the players and say, you know what? This is what you have done wrong. This is what you have done right. Obviously, you'll tell them, you'll criticize them, but you'll also praise them for what they've done right. But you must sit down with these guys and criticize them and say, this is what you have done wrong. Play better. Do better. And if the players are not listening to you, that's something got to give. Something got to give.
Gentlemen, we've been going on for this topic for quite a while now. And this is a topic as well. This is a topic as well that we could go on for hours, if not weeks, on this one. But I could see right now where this is going as well.
9 o'clock.
I will leave it up to the panel. Is the panel open for 9 o'clock? Because some of us have to work in the morning.
I got to work tomorrow as well, too.
I feel we need the consensus is done. Sell Bruno Fernandes.
Okay.
Right? I mean, I personally don't agree with 80% of Phil's comments, but it doesn't matter. The consensus is the same. Sell Bruno Fernandes once we gave him money. So, yeah, that's all that matters. Sell Bruno Fernandes, let's move on.
But let me make one more statement. Whether you agree with me or not, you're in agreement with selling Bruno Fernandes.
Correct. That's all that matters.
Let's go to Amad Diallo. If a team in Saudi Arabia had to come in with the same amount of money that they're offering Bruno Fernandes, let's say it's 150 million, and they offer it to Amad Diallo, are you selling or are you keeping him?
So, you will have to sell.
I'm selling Amad right now, yeah.
So, and that's the difference. Amad is the future of Manchester United, and we can work, and they can work with Amad Diallo. Bruno Fernandes is
well, that is the difference for you. I was saying the same way.
It's beneath the money.
Gentlemen, we do have to move on to the next topic now. And our last topic for the evening tonight. It's a topic that we do for every show all the time. We have the top shutter and the boo-boo man, and this time we will do it for the season. So for those who are not aware, the top shutter is usually for the week, for who is a star man, who can do no wrong, everything like that. The boo-boo man is the one who is just the complete opposite, who is nothing but, well, boo-boo. We have to pick the top shutter of a boo-boo team that is Manchester United and the boo-boo man of the boo-boo team that is Manchester United. So for this one, we're going to go around the panel. I will start with Robert first.
Hi, Maguire.
Top shutter, boo-boo man.
I mean, he's a king.
Yeah, you gotta pick both. You guys say what's your top shutter, what's your boo-boo man?
He's the top. He's the top of the top. The top shutter, Hi Maguire. Top shutter.
And the boo-boo man?
That is between Rasmus and Sancho. Yeah.
Courtney?
Top shutter, I'll give it to Ahmad. Boo Man, I will give to Onana.
Phil?
Oh, yeah, Boo Man definitely goes between Rasmus and Onana or Tom Heaton. Top shutter, our most consistent player for the entire season, Maserati, definitely top shutter this season.
President Chad?
My top shutter is Amad Diallo. I think, the team suffered greatly when he was absent. I don't think we won any of those games outside of the European games when he was absent in the league. And that shows the influence that he has had on this team. So my top shutter is Amad Diallo. He has, when he on the pitch, he's been doing it. Hands and above, one of the best players. My boo man, I tend to have a policy of not endowing Manchester United players publicly. I very rarely, not criticize them, but crying down, really bringing them down, really calling them names. really dissing them in public. And even though we spoke earlier about sell, loan, and keep, and I picked Rasmus for loan, that boy shit, but Lord. That's bad striker.
Yeah.
Rasmus Hoyland is one of the shittiest, low confidence strikers I have ever seen.
Courtney wanted to have faith in Rasmus. Courtney, you're wrong.
No.
Courtney, you are
I have
wrong.
receipts.
Courtney, we
I
have
have
receipts in the
receipts.
group chat. We have
When
receipts in
Rasmus,
the group
hold on.
chat.
When Rasmus came to the club, I said, because there's another person who's not here right now.
Me.
No, hold on. There was another person in the group who said they have great faith in Rasmus and and I was like, the man had one season in Italy. Let's not go there. Even during the season, the reason why I have been defending Rasmus is because the patterns of play have not given him the most of opportunities.
I agree. But let me tell you, let me be honest. The same
But when he had his opportunities,
Yeah, but you had to look at the two sides of the coin.
It's the same arguments for Rasmus.
You're talking about defense, and you're absolutely right. Rasmus is a better defender than a striker.
Right? You are a striker in the worst Manchester United team. Obviously, it will affect your numbers, right?
Right.
But that's no excuse to be missing sitters.
Thank you.
Hold on. Understand what I'm saying. If your confidence is already low,
you are the boo-boo man at the group chat.
if your confidence is already low, chat, right? And you're not getting opportunities when you're making runs and not receiving the ball. So when you get that little opportunity, you're going to rush it. You're not going to be confident in your strike. So I understand why he's going through the patch that he's going through. I'm not disagreeing with you. I just understand.
I understand too. That's why I said low confidence. I understand too.
I have to go in and I have to say my top player and Google man as well, and I'm saving Zahir for last. So moving on from that right now, my top shutter is also my most improved player, Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire stepped up when nobody else would. He is the prime example of how you overcome adversity in the correct way, where you don't go have your brother cry on social media. You don't go and talk to your agent, have your agent communicate through the media. You don't sit there. You don't publicly criticize the manager. No, you put your head down and you work. So I have to give top shout out for Harry Maguire for this one. My boo-boo man was solidified after the first Lyon match, if you know where I'm going with it.
Correct.
Andre Onana.
Correct.
How are you going to step up and put the pressure on yourself by unnecessary comments going into the match and then not commit one, but two unforgivable mistakes? Absolutely not. No. You try to give people chances, and after that, I was ready. After that, I said I am done. I don't care. I don't care what he does after this. He could keep clean sheets. He could win us the Europe in a penalty shootout. I don't care. I said I was done. No, absolutely not. But last but not least, Zahir.
First things first. I, Zahir Abbas, hereby officially apologize to Lord Harry Maguire, OBE, for comments I would have made in the past. Harry Maguire, you are my top shotter for this season. You have proven yourself to be a professional in every aspect of how you handle your adversity. You have proven that you are a better man than many who have come before you at this club. I wish you nothing but the best moving forward, sir. I look forward to seeing number 5 on the field when the season starts. You, sir, are my top shotter. I hope you accept my apology. Boo Boo Man is a three-way tie.
Bruno, and who else?
Marcus Rashford,
Wait.
Jadon Sancho, and Alejandro Garnacho. Marcus Rashford was the chosen one, the wonder kid, coming up through the academy, given a chance at 19, the OBE winner, the everything. They were about to give you the keys to the freaking castle, and you decided you were bigger than the club.
Run hose.
You went away, were given an opportunity to prove everybody wrong, and you did fuck all. Jadon Sancho, worse than that, right? A manager put so much faith in you that he sent you away while you were having your issues to help you deal with it. You come back and you F up the scene. We send you to our next club and you can't even make the bench on a regular basis. And Alejandro Garnacho, who was the prince in waiting, who everybody raved over. Down to the great CR7 raved over him when he was down here. But you decide to jump out your little pissing tail self because you cannot understand the concept of wait your turn. So you just pissed away a great future and career at Manchester United. Right out.
So there is one more thing that I have to go on from this show right now, because I do want to try and at least end the show with some sort of positivity right now. The reason why I picked Zahir to go last on this one, and I'm putting him on the solo layout for this one right now.
Wait.
Do you remember the one thing you've always asked me to do, Zahir?
Which
Sal
is
Bruno.
You have any idea what the one thing you've always asked me to do?
give Zara Connolly my number.
Hey Zahir, so I've heard you are a massive Manchester United fan, and because of that means I have to say hello to you, of course. But thanks for all of the support. It's incredible, and hopefully with your support we get plenty of wins soon. But keep flying that red flag high, that's for sure. And hopefully I'll get to meet you. And I hope you bring some sunshine from Trinidad as well, because in Manchester we need it. This is the tastiest I've ever been. So yeah, see you soon. Bye.
All right, Zahir. Breachy.
Never you have me blushing your dread. Devin, if you was not married, man, and a Christian married, you know. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
She said, take it easy. I will do the work.
That girl, boy, that girl. And you know the names, you know, Zahir and Zara. It just goes together.
Is your door closed? Is your door closed?
If my door is
Just
closed.
remember, right? You have someone behind you, eh? Behind.
Yeah.
Mrs. Right. Behind. Just saying. Be careful. Careful. Don't let Devin get in problems, you know.
Team no pull out.
Devin, you're my hero, bro. Thank you.
Yeah.
And gentlemen,
Bullshit.
with that-
Cartel.
But Devin, you had to
With
send
that-
that clip, huh?
yes, don't worry, I will make sure you have it.
And I got straight
And
to all my friends.
And I'm also going to send her your reaction as well, too.
Nice, thank you.
That was the least I could do for you as well. Gentlemen,
This is why Devin is my favorite non-Trini ever. You know?
Oh, shite.
as you're slighting Bajans all season long, now you want to come back.
But it's a hard fight, by Bajans or Guyanese, but I just know that it's hot my heart, but
So, gentlemen, now as we wrap up this abysmal season, I guess that will be our motto for going forward.
team no pull out, yes.
Any last words before we wrap up this season?
Team no pull out is Anthony Martial's slogan.
Correct.
Wow.
When I come to that, find me a Venezuelan girl.
No. You don't
Hey, Chad, no way to look.
Perfect.
Oh, my God, getting cold like that. I don't understand.
Perfect.
Oh, But that wouldn't be hard to find, Phil. Trust me.
You don't know, Phil. Trust me.
Anyway, back to footballing matters.
I entering all 3 holes.
Playing golf, Phil?
This was supposed to be a G-minute show, and we just got way off topic with what's going on here.
You see.
I can't even edit this out.
As Cookie said, let's back to footballing matters.
Any last football-related words for the season? No.
Friendly wager, guys. Friendly wager. Who's going to be the next confirmed signing?
Huh?
Next one?
Next confirmed signing. Friendly wager.
Delap.
Gaio Correz.
I don't know. See, I have a problem with signing forward.
Actually, sorry. I stand corrected. My bad. Brian Mbumo.
Nope, the lap.
I think Mbumo as well.
I have a problem with signing that dude from Portugal. He's not a proven goal scorer in England. What we need right now is a proven goal scorer in England.
Yeah, Haaland.
Was Van Nistelrooy a proven goal scorer in England?
Haaland, Van Nistelrooy, Aguero, Didier Drogba.
Hold on.
Not proven goal scorers.
What is the common denominator for all those names that you've just called?
Luis Suarez. Courtney, you are the boo-boo man of the group chat. You are the boo-boo man of the group chat, Courtney.
Wait, I want to ask you a question. What is the common denominator for all those names that you've just called?
More than one in one season.
Huh?
They were all more than one. They had a body of work behind them.
Fernando Torres, Van Nistelrooy,
all went into already established squads that were missing a striker.
Okay.
We are not an established squad. So we need a striker who can put goals and unlimited service.
Oh, what made you and Swansea?
We, to be fair, we are not missing strikers. We just have strikers.
What about Mo Salah?
We just have strikers that are missing. We are not missing strikers.
It don't matter. He's a goal scorer. Mo Salah went into a Liverpool that was not winning. Let's put it that way. And lo and behold, people think that he is the greatest Premier League player of all time right now.
But Mo Salah had Premier League experience.
Man, the man came straight from Roma. The man had 2 or 3 appearances at Chelsea.
No, he didn't play he didn't play nothing for Chelsea, really, man.
Romelu Lukaku as well.
Again.
Jose froze him out.
Hold on. He played in the Chelsea team. He had at least a season in Chelsea before he was sold to Roma. So we're
supposed to be on the last word. The last word is like, the last word, goodbye.
All
right. My final word for United is I love Zara.
So really, it's trying to push us to 9 o'clock. To be very true.
Correct.
I feel that's his plan right now.
Me? Nah.
But gentlemen, you know what?
All right.
After a horrible season, a horrible final, a real season to forget. And my words that I usually say have never rung more true than this time, because I have seen new fans in the fold and I've seen true fans stand up and wear their colors proud despite the travesty of this season. So my final words are, Red Devils, we don't die, we multiply.
We're not ending on that. We're going to end on my words because it's my show. I'm the host this time.
Correct.
So with that being said,
team no pull out.
You know what? Even though we had such an abysmal season this year, we keep that red flag flying high, and Man United will rise again. We've been through worse. We keep that red flag flying high because Man United will never die. Team no pull out.
Hey, if you appreciate what we're doing here at the United Hour, please like, please subscribe, and let's grow this community.